heart shape using the pen tool. And let's start by creating a new document. We'll use 800 pixels for the width and 600 pixels for the height. Then make sure you fill your background color with black, and let's create a new layer. To make it easier to draw using the pen tool, let's on the grid, click on view, show grid. Let's edit this grid a bit. Click on edit, preferences, guides. You have this dialog box opened. Change the grid line every 4 inches and the subdivisions to 3. You can see how open the guide has become. Once you have done that, using the pen tool, make sure you have path selected on top. Let's make this as the center point or the main starting point and ending point of the heart. Click, holding your shift key, drag it 1.5 inch up. Once you have done that, leaving 2 blocks or 2 inches on the left, click and hold your shift key, drag it 1 inch downwards. So you have this bend curve. After that, leaving 3 inches or 3 blocks downwards, click and hold your shift key, drag it 1 inch downwards. So we get this bend curve of the heart. After that's done, make sure you hold your Alt key, and as you can see a arrow coming up near the pen tool, click and drag it 1 inch upwards. It looks like nothing's happened, but by doing this it makes you get another curve on your right side which offs the guide which comes out from the pen tool downwards. Once you get this point 2 inches on the right, click and drag it 1 inch upwards as we did on the right side. Once you have done that, make sure you hold your Alt key again and click at the starting point, which is now going to be the ending point, and drag it 1.5 inch downwards as we did that time upwards. Make sure it reaches this point, so drag straight down. Since it's reached, we'll leave it. So we have this heart shape of a path created by the pen. Now let's fill this with black. So right click, fill path. As a black is now on a foreground color, make sure foreground is selected instead of background. Press on OK. As the background is already black, so you won't be able to see the heart, so you can see it here on the layers icon. Let's delete the path by pressing right click, delete path. Once you have done that, select your selection tool, and we'll be deleting a background layer by selecting and pressing on delete. Now you can see a heart shape. Let's off this grid, click on view, show off the grid. So now you can see this heart shape we just created. Once you have done that, let's make this a brush tool. So let's trim off the extra transparent background around this heart. Click on image, trim. Make sure top left pixel color selected and trim away. Make sure all the 4 are selected. Press on OK. So you get trimmed all the empty space of that background. With this layer selected, click on edit and define brush preset. So it calculates the size of the brush, which is 384 as we have drawn. Let's name this heart shape and press on OK. Once you have done that, let's just minimize this for now. We won't be needing it since we have already created the brush. Let's create another new document. We'll be using 1280 for the width and 1024 for the height. And let's give this name heart. Once we have this, let's fill this background also with black, create a new layer, and now we'll be putting that heart straight into here. Let's zoom a bit so that it's 100%. Once you've done that, press on the brush tool, and at the very bottom you'll have your heart brush created. So let's leave the size to 384 as default and give one click, fill it with white, so you get this heart. You can make many more modifications using that brush tool. So since it's saved, it's right there. Let's add up some extra effects on this heart layer now by double clicking on this layer, opening up the blending options, let's add a inner shadow at start, and we'll change the blending mode to multiply, 75%, distance to 5, and we'll just change the size to 10. Outer glow, we'll add the color of complete red, drag this palette to the bottom and this completely to the corner, which is F, and 4 times 0. Press on OK. We'll change the blending mode to normal, opacity to 50, is noise 0, and spread to 5%, and the size up to 15%. And let's change the qualities range to 75% so that it doesn't give a much red. Add the bevel and emboss. Inner bevel smooth, make the depth to 500%, size up to 10, and soften to 16. We'll change the shading to, the color would be FF4200. Take an orange color, screen, make the opacity to 40, and we'll change this color of the shadow mode to FF3C00, this opacity to 40 as well. Let's add a gradient effect. We'll be using a normal 100% opacity, and we'll change the color at location 0 to FF, a complete red again, and at location 100 we'll give a darker red. Once you have done that, press on OK and reverse this, since we need it the other way. After you have done that, make sure it's linear, not radial. Press on OK. We have given the effect for the heart, so let's rename this to heart. Create a new layer and make the blending mode to overlay 50% opacity. Using the brush tool, let's select a normal complete 0 hardness of a size 50 and make the flow to 75%, and just brush up any little bit. It won't look there is any much color, but it gives a little effect. Let's change the opacity to 80. You can see that color which has come there. Once you have done that, let's call this highlight. Now let's duplicate this heart layer and create an empty layer below this. And let's merge these both so that we have the heart completely without any blending options to it, which is merged. And once you have that layer selected, click on filter, blur, radial blur, adjust the amount to 50, zooming method to good, and press on OK. Once you have done that, change this blending mode to linear burn, which would give you this effect. And let's make this back to 50%. It's making up too bright. Okay, once you have done that, let's call this heart burn. After that, let's create a new layer above all and call it shines. Using the pen tool, we'll be creating a shiny look on the corners of this heart. So let's use the pen tool and zoom a bit. We'll create one from here, click and drag straight according to the heart's path. Click. Once you have done that, hold on the Alt key and click once at the end point and click here and just drag. Make sure you hold your Alt key. Give a thin fill. Right click, fill path with the foreground color of white. Let's delete the path. Let's add some more in the top corner here. Using the same way, click on Alt. Once you see the arrow key next to the pen tool, give a click so it offs the other direction. Using your Alt key again, click and drag. Make sure you get two paths, one on the top and one on the bottom, which gives you another type of shining look. Fill this with white. See, once you delete the path, you can see what I meant. It gives you a different type of look. Let's add some on the left. Make sure you're on your Alt key. Once you've done that, thank you for watching, and this is how you create a heart look, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you visit my YouTube channel and omanvideos.com. Thank you for watching.